Please welcome the CEO of AWS, Adam Selipsky.
Good morning and welcome to the 12th annual reInvent. I am so happy to be here with more than 50,000 of you here in Las Vegas and more than 300,000 watching around the world. Thank you everybody for joining. That's right, thank you. Now we've always done this event just a little bit differently, and reInvent remains above all a learning conference, a learning event. And the opportunities to learn and grow here are everywhere. We've got more than 2,200 sessions, and you can connect with an incredible array of partners in the expo, all around, and of course there are many, many opportunities to connect with fellow members of the AWS community. So we've also got a great slate of keynotes for you. Last night, hopefully a lot of you saw Peter diving into all of our innovation around serverless. And tomorrow we've got Swami on AI and machine learning, as well as Ruba's partner keynote. And then, of course, Werner caps off the week on Thursday. But I'm extremely excited about what we have in store for you right now, here today. So let's get started. So one of the things I love about reInvent is the sheer variety of the customers that I get to meet. I mean, folks from every industry, every region, every use case, and there's just nothing like it anywhere. And innovators all over the world are relying on AWS to drive their businesses, including leading enterprises from across every industry. I mean, just to name a few, in financial services, we're working with JPMorgan Chase, we're working with Goldman Sachs, NASDAQ, Fidelity, Allianz, Itaú, BBVA, HSBC, Capital One, S&P Global, Nubank, and more. In healthcare, we're working with Pfizer, Gilead, Merck, Novo Nordisk, Roche, Moderna, Illumina, Medtronic, 3M Health Information Systems, and more. In automotive, we're working with everybody from BMW to Stellantis, Honda, Toyota, VW Group, Nissan, Hyundai, Ford Motor Company, Mercedes-Benz, and of course more. So many amazing customers and partners, and still just a smattering of the leaders we're working with to shape the futures of these industries and all of the customers, of course, that they serve. One customer and partner we've been working closely with for a number of years is Salesforce. So in 2016, Salesforce chose AWS as their primary cloud provider, and today Salesforce uses AWS Compute, Storage, Data Services, many others to power key services like Salesforce Data Cloud and many others. And yesterday, we announced that we're significantly expanding our partnership to bring new capabilities to our mutual customers. Salesforce is going to be significantly expanding its already very large use of AWS. AWS will be using more Salesforce technologies. And we're making it easier for developers to quickly build and deploy generative AI applications by bringing together Amazon Bedrock with Salesforce's Einstein platform. We're also helping to unify data management with our new zero ETL integrations between Salesforce Data Cloud and AWS Storage, Compute, and Data Service, Data and Analytics Services, so the customers can get even better insights faster. And we're also building tighter integrations between Service Cloud from Salesforce and Amazon Connect. Also, for the first time, Salesforce is going to be putting its products on the AWS Marketplace, making it even easier for AWS customers to find, to buy, and to manage Salesforce offerings. So with this expanded partnership, AWS and Salesforce customers are going to get new, powerful ways to innovate and build applications. But it's not just global enterprises. The most promising up-and-comers also continue to choose AWS as well. According to PitchBook, there are more than 1,000 unicorns or startups with over $1 billion in valuation. And the vast majority of unicorns, over 80%, choose AWS. Like Wiz, a cloud security company and great AWS partner, Wiz is the world's largest cybersecurity unicorn and fastest SaaS company to reach a $10 billion valuation. Really amazing. Or Ultima Genomics, one of Fast Company's most innovative companies in biotech. And Ultima is revolutionizing DNA sequencing by reducing the cost of sequencing 6-fold. Or Plaid. Plaid's a data startup that powers fintech tools like Venmo, Acorns, and Robinhood that millions of people are using to manage their finances. Customers of every size, every industry, every region. Organizations you might never imagine would rely on the cloud or innovating on AWS. I just recently heard about Loudon Guitars, a high-end expert guitar maker located in a tiny village in Ireland. And they're using AWS technology to create an electronic passport program that's going to ease the passage of their very special guitars for musicians as they travel through customs. I mean, all sorts of use cases. It's amazing. Enterprises and startups, small and medium-sized businesses, universities, community colleges, government agencies, nonprofit. The cloud is for anyone. Our customers are solving big problems, serving critical needs, and dreaming up the world's next big thing. They count on us to be secure, to be reliable, to innovate rapidly, to delight their customers and enable new ways to grow their businesses, all on AWS. So why is all this happening on AWS? We are relentless about working backwards from our customers' needs and from their pain points. And of course, we were the first by about 5 to 7 years to have this broadest and deepest set of capabilities that we still have today. And we're the most secure and the most reliable. But we also think differently about our customers' problems and their potential. And this has led us to reinvent continuously, to push through the barriers of what people thought was possible so you can do the same. Reinventing is in our DNA, and it continues to drive us every day. After all, this is how cloud computing came to be. In the early days of operating Amazon.com, we experienced firsthand how hard, how expensive it was to provision and manage infrastructure, and how much of the undifferentiated heavy lifting there was that distracted really talented teams from really innovating. So we set out to rethink IT infrastructure completely with AWS, so everyone, even a kid in a college dorm room, could have access to the same powerful technology available to the largest and most sophisticated organizations. All on demand, all secure, all reliable, and all cost-effective. Now, folks got pretty excited about this. As they moved into the cloud, some even hosted data center closing parties and posted videos of shutting down server rooms. It was really, really fun. At least it was fun for us. So we reinvented infrastructure from the ground up to optimize for scale, for security, for reliability, from routers to cooling systems to networking protocols. And because we look at these things differently, our global infrastructure was fundamentally distinct from that of other cloud providers, and that is still true today. For example, the AWS global infrastructure spans 32 geographic regions around the world, and we've announced plans for 5 or so more. Each and every region consists of 3 or more availability zones, or AZs, and no other cloud provider provides that in every single geographic region. And this is critical. Within each region, the AZs are physically separated by a significant distance, up to 60 miles or 100 kilometers. And then they're interconnected with a redundant fiber network that provides single-digit millisecond latency. Now, each AZ is at least one fully discrete data center with its own redundant power, water, networking, and connectivity. So if there's a utility failure, unexpected traffic spike, human mistake, or even a natural disaster, the region remains operational. And so do your applications. Now, others would have you think that all clouds are the same, but it's just not true. I mean, imagine if you had a region supported by a single data center. Or if you thought your provider had multiple AZs in France, for example, and you were resilient, but it turned out that they're actually in the same location. I mean, one incident, like a water leak followed by a fire, could take down an entire region for days. Mon Dieu. Having the broadest and the deepest set of capabilities matters. Like having three times the number of data centers compared to the next largest cloud provider, which makes a huge difference in capacity and availability. and having 60% more services and over 40% more features than the next closest cloud provider, so you can innovate without constraints. We reinvent so that you can reinvent. Take storage, for example. So we certainly didn't invent storage, but we reinvented how people consume and scale storage in the cloud with our very first cloud service, Amazon S3, Simple Storage Service. So back in the day, storage was primarily disk arrays, which could take weeks to provision and obviously had finite capacity. So S3 provided highly durable, highly performant object storage that customers could scale instantly and nearly infinitely. And I remember talking about S3 at our very first trade show in 2006 on the day that it launched. And folks had a hard time believing the cost. I mean, it was so dramatically lower than what they were used to. But we kept going. We added a whole lot of storage tiers, including S3 Glacier Deep Archive, which delivers archive storage at less than 1/10 cent per gigabyte. But why should you have to even figure out which storage tier to use? So we built S3 intelligent tiering to optimize storage by automatically moving data to the most effective access tier when access patterns change. Intelligent tiering has already saved AWS customers, you ready? Over $2 billion. But it's just storage, right? I mean, here's to the savings. But storage, right? I mean, surely this can't be an area that's ready for more reinvention. Well, recently we've been rethinking storage for your most frequently accessed and most latency-sensitive workloads. Workloads that need high-performance analytics processing, like financial trading analytics, real-time advertising, fraud detection, and machine learning training. Now, these workloads access data up to millions of times in just a few minutes and do require single-digit millisecond latency. And so today, what happens is customers move data often from S3 to custom caching solutions and then run analytics at these speeds. But managing multiple storage infrastructures and APIs adds a lot of complexity. So we looked hard at what we could do to add to S3. Okay, are you ready for the first announcement of the day? Okay. So today, I'm excited to announce Amazon S3 Express One Zone, a new S3 storage class, purpose-built to offer the highest performance and lowest latency cloud object storage for your most frequently accessed data. S3 Express One Zone uses purpose-built hardware and software to accelerate data processing. It also gives you the option to actually choose your AZ for the first time, and you can bring your frequently accessed data next to your high-performance compute resources to minimize latency. So S3 Express One Zone supports millions of requests per minute with consistent single-digit millisecond latency, the fastest object storage in the cloud, and up to 10 times faster than S3 standard storage. Now, the faster data processing lets you save up to 60% on your compute costs as well for workloads that require the high-performance analytics. And the data access costs also are 50% lower than S3 standard, so you can run these workloads at much, much lower cost. So for example, with S3 Express One Zone, Pinterest has observed over 10 times faster write speeds while reducing their total cost by 40% for its machine learning-powered visual inspiration engine. Now, this is enabling them to do faster experimentation and personalization, improving experiences for their users. So 17 years ago, S3 reinvented storage by launching the first cloud service for AWS. And with S3 Express One Zone, you can see S3 continuing to change how developers use storage. The same simple interface, same low cost, and now even faster. Let's look at another example of reinvention. General purpose computing. So we realized almost 10 years ago that if we wanted to continue to push the envelope on price performance for all of your workloads, we had to reinvent general purpose computing for the cloud era, all the way down to the silicon. And in 2018, we became the first major cloud provider to develop our own general purpose compute processors when we announced Graviton, our server processor chip. And customers loved the cost savings that it delivered for scale-out workloads like microservices and web applications, but asked for more. So we brought you Graviton4, which improved performance 7-fold for a wide variety of workloads. And we didn't stop there. Our current generation, Graviton3, delivers up to 25% better compute performance compared to Graviton2 and the best price performance in EC2. Importantly, it also uses 60% less energy for the same level of performance. And this is so important to so many customers today. And that's compared to comparable EC2 instances. And the energy efficiency is only going to become more important. Today, we've got over 150 Graviton-based instances across the EC2 portfolio. And more than 50,000 customers, including all of the top 100 EC2 customers, use Graviton-based instances to realize price performance benefits. For example, SAP. They've partnered with AWS to actually power SAP HANA Cloud with Graviton. And with Graviton, SAP has seen up to 35% better price performance for analytics workloads and aims to reduce their carbon footprint, their carbon impact, by an estimated 45%. Super impressive. We're relentless about innovation, and we continue to push the envelope further. So today, I'm excited to announce the latest generation of our Graviton processor, AWS Graviton4. Graviton4 is the most powerful and the most energy efficient chip that we have ever built, with 50% more cores and 75% more memory bandwidth than Graviton3. Graviton4 chips are 30% faster on average than Graviton3 and perform even better for certain workloads, like 40% faster for database applications and 45% faster for Java applications. We were the first to develop and offer our own server processors. We're now on our 4th generation in just 5 years. Other cloud providers have not even delivered on their first server processors yet. We're also announcing the preview of our first instance based on Graviton4, R8G instances. R8G is part of our memory-optimized instance family. They're designed to deliver fast performance for workloads that process large data sets in memory, like databases or real-time big data analytics. R8G instances provide the best price performance and energy efficiency for memory-intensive workloads. And there are many more Graviton4 instances coming. Highly reliable regions with availability zones, durable, instantly scalable, low-cost storage, leading price performance with custom-designed chips. These are just a few examples of how we're reinventing to constantly deliver what you need to drive your infrastructure, your innovation, and your businesses. And for nearly 2 decades, we have been so intent on providing you with the broadest and deepest functionality with the fastest pace of innovation, the most reliable, the most secure cloud services, and of course, the largest and the most diverse community of customers and partners. Now, these advantages are always relevant, but no more so than today because they're also the foundation for reinventing with generative AI. Now, here too, you're going to need the broadest and deepest capabilities, the best price performance, and the security and the privacy you trust. You need it all. Amazon's been innovating with AI for decades. We use it across the company to optimize things like our company-wide supply chain, to create better retail search capabilities, to deliver new experiences like Amazon Alexa or our Just Walk Out shopping technology. Gen AI is the next step in artificial intelligence, and it is going to reinvent every application that we interact with at work and at home. We're ready to help you reinvent with generative AI because, again, we think differently about what it takes to meet your needs, and we reinvent again and again. And because we're intimately familiar with what it means to reinvent ourselves, we understand how to help you with your reinventions. From startups to enterprises, organizations of all sizes are getting going with generative AI. They want to take the momentum that they're building with early experimentation and turn it into real-world productivity gains and innovate. So we think about generative AI as having actually 3 macro layers, if you will, of a stack, and they're all equally important. And we're investing in all 3 of them. So the bottom layer is used to train foundation models, and large language models, FMs we'll call them, and to run these models in production. The middle layer provides access to the LLMs and other foundation models that you need, and all the tools that you need to build and scale generative AI applications with them. And then at the top layer, we've got applications that are built using FMs so that you can take advantage of generative AI quickly without even needing any specialized knowledge. So let's look at the bottom layer, infrastructure. So with the foundation models, there are two main types of workloads, training and inference. And training is to create and prove FMs by learning patterns from large amounts of training data, and inference uses that to run the models in production, to generate an output such as text, images, or video. And these workloads consume massive amounts of compute power. So to make Gen AI use cases economical and feasible, you need to run your training, you need to run your inference on incredibly performant, cost-effective infrastructure that's purpose-built for ML and AI. Now, GPUs are the chips that can perform a high volume of mathematical calculations simultaneously, making them popular for lots of different workloads from ML, simulations, 3D rendering. And we've been collaborating with NVIDIA for over 13 years to bring GPUs to the cloud, building compute instances that support a wide range of use cases, including graphics, gaming, HPC, machine learning, and now, of course, demanding generative AI workloads. In 2010, AWS was the first to bring NVIDIA GPUs to the cloud with CG1, or the cluster GPU instance. Then we were the first to offer NVIDIA V100 GPUs with our P3 instances. And then we were again the first to offer the A100 Tensor Core GPUs with our P4 instances in production. And earlier this year, yes, we were the first major cloud provider to bring NVIDIA H100 GPUs to market with our P5 instances. And the P5s are providing amazing performance. For training, they're up to 4 times faster and 40% less expensive than P4s. Now, having the best chips is great and necessary, but to deliver the next level of performance, you need more than just the best GPUs. You also need really high-performance clusters of servers that are running these GPUs. Our GPU instances can be deployed in EC2 Ultra clusters, and they're interconnected with up to 3,200 gigabits per second of networking through our Elastic Fabric Adapter, or EFA. And this enables customers to scale up to 20,000 GPUs in a single cluster, providing up to 20 exaflops of aggregate compute capacity, which is equivalent to a supercomputer. And all of our GPU instances that are released in the last 6 years are based on our breakthrough Nitro system, which reinvented virtualization by offloading storage and networking to specialized chips so that all of the service compute is dedicated to running your workloads. And this is not something that other cloud providers can offer, again. Now, with Nitro, this delivers performance indistinguishable from bare metal, but at a lower price. And the Nitro system also provides enhanced security that continuously monitors and protects and verifies that the instance hardware and firmware are all robust. We've worked closely with NVIDIA to integrate our networking and our virtualization capabilities with their chips to bring our GPU instances to customers. And today, I'm thrilled to announce that we are expanding our partnership with NVIDIA with more innovations that are going to deliver the most advanced infrastructure for generative AI workloads with GPUs. And I'd like to invite Jensen Huang, founder and CEO of NVIDIA, here on stage with us to tell us more. Jensen, so good to see you.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. It's amazing. So as I've just discussed, so we've got a long partnership. AWS and NVIDIA have been doing this a long time together. I'm so excited about how the teams are collaborating. You and I were talking about that backstage. The collaboration's amazing. It's been happening for a lot of years, and I'm just thrilled to deepen the partnership.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the amazing work of our two teams and to help announce our big new partnership. You know, we've been working together for a very long time. In fact, AWS was the world's first cloud to recognize the importance of GPU-accelerated computing. And you put the world's first GPUs in the cloud a long time ago. And since then, this is an amazing statistics. In the last several years alone, just for the Ampere and Hopper generation, we've deployed 2 million GPUs in AWS. That's 3 Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most nations would be happy with one exascale supercomputer. AWS has 3,000 of them, and we are just getting started. I'm delighted to see that we are going to announce today a deployment of a whole new family of GPUs, the L4, the L40S, and the brand new H200. The H200, this is really an amazing thing. The combination between the brand new TensorRT LLM optimizing compilers for generative AI and H200 improves the throughput of inference, large language model inference, by a factor of 4, reducing the cost in just 1 year by a factor of 4. Now, our collaboration starts with, of course, great GPUs, and we're ramping so incredibly fast. Each quarter, we're standing up and deploying more than 1 zettaflops more in AWS. 1 zettaflops more each quarter. It's an unbelievable number. And all of this is, of course, made possible because of the accelerated computing libraries. Our two teams stood up a whole bunch of new infrastructure, but we're also bringing our most popular libraries, the NVIDIA AI Stack, our NeMo LLM, large language model framework, the Retriever inference model for RAGs, our BioNeMo digital biology, large language model foundation models, Isaac Sim on Omniverse for robotics. This is something that Amazon Robotics uses to simulate its robots and its incredible warehouses that you guys do. Just all of these stacks, software stacks and libraries, we're going to integrate into AWS. So our two teams have been really, really busy.
Busy indeed, and that was a lot of Zetas and everything. Yeah. So as you said, the collaboration is going to enable developers to access amazing technology, and they're going to need it to innovate with generative AI. Now, one of the big announcements, of course, is that AWS is going to be the first cloud provider to bring the latest NVIDIA GH200 Grace Hopper superchips with the new multi-node NVLink to the cloud, first place. And maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that, what makes that computing platform so powerful, and how we're working together to introduce it.
Well, we're both really passionate about ARM processors. And the reason why ARM is so incredible is because we can mold it to exactly the type of computing needs that we have. It's incredibly low energy. It's incredibly cost effective. And so Grace Hopper, which is GH200, connects two revolutionary processors together in a really unique way. It connects them together using a chip-to-chip interconnect called NVLink at 1 terabytes per second. And it's connected in a coherent way so that the GPU could access all of the CPU's memory, the CPU can access all of the GPU's memory, and so the two of these processors could work hand in hand in a really fast way. The second thing that we did was we invented a new way of extending NVLink to a very large domain. So now 32 Grace Hoppers could be connected by a brand new NVLink switch, and that becomes one unit. And with the Nitro, AWS Nitro, that becomes basically one giant virtual GPU instance. I mean, you got to imagine this. You've got 32 H200s, incredible horsepower in one virtual instance because of AWS Nitro. And then we connect it with AWS EFA, your incredibly fast networking. All of these units now can create into a ultra cluster, an AWS ultra cluster. So I can't wait to see all this come together.
I mean, it's really it's an incredible combination. I mean, how customers are going to use this stuff, one can only imagine. I know that the GH200s are really going to supercharge what customers are doing. It's going to be available, of course, in EC2 instances coming soon. Now, in the world of generative AI, a lot of companies are looking to onboard AI into their business. And it's great to see the infrastructure, but it extends to the software, the services, and all of the other workflows that they have. So this leads, of course, to the second big announcement we have today. So partnering AWS and NVIDIA to bring the NVIDIA DGX Cloud to AWS. And I'd love to hear about a little bit about how the DGX Cloud is an important platform for customers.
Well, first of all, DGX Cloud is NVIDIA's AI factory. This is how our researchers advance AI. We use AI to do neural graphics, The way we do computer graphics today is impossible without AI. We use AI to advance, we use our AI factories to advance our digital biology models, our large language models, use it for robotics, for self-driving cars. We use it to simulate Earth too, a digital twin of the Earth to predict weather and climate. And so DGX Cloud is really important to us. We're incredibly excited to build the largest AI factory NVIDIA has ever built. We're going to announce inside our company, we call it Project SIBA. SIBA, you all probably know since you're at an AWS conference, is the largest, most magnificent tree in the Amazon. We call it Project SIBA. SIBA is going to be 16,384 GPUs connected into one giant AI supercomputer. This is utterly incredible. We will be able to reduce the training time of the largest language models, the next generation MOEs, these large, extremely large mixture of experts models, and be able to train it in just half of the time, essentially reducing the cost of training in just 1 year in half. Now we're going to be able to train much, much larger multimodal MOE models, these next generation large language models. These 16,000 GPUs will be 65 exaflops. It's like 65 exascale supercomputers in one. And so I can't wait for us to stand this up. Our AI researchers chomping at the bit. Now, of course, this is also a place where we collaborate with partners and customers who need to build custom AI models. You know, it's great to be able to use off-the-shelf models, and there's going to be a whole bunch of off-the-shelf models in public clouds. It's going to be available in software platform companies, SaaS companies, for example, Salesforce that you mentioned earlier. They'll have all kinds of off-the-shelf copilots and generative AI models. But a lot of companies need to build their own proprietary models. And so we set up the AI factory so that we could partner with them to help them create their custom AIs. And now it'll run all on AWS. We'll develop the model on AWS, collaborate with our customers on AWS, connect them all to your services and storage services, security services, and all kinds of other generative AI services, and then deploy it all in AWS. So we're going to be able to do this very first time in AWS.
It's all amazing. I mean, you guys have been doing amazing things. You know, we've been working hard to see us come together even more tightly. I mean, it's just going to bring incredible benefits to customers who are really going to need it. We appreciate the collaboration, appreciate working with you, and look forward to a lot more of that going forward.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, thank you, Jensen.
Have a great show, everybody.
It's been a great partnership. We've really appreciated it. Now let's talk about capacity, or actually getting access to all of that amazing compute. So customers who want to build and train models often need large amounts of reliable clustered capacity. It has to be together or in clusters. But they don't necessarily need the same amount of it all the time. For example, customers training a model, they might stop to evaluate, use new training data, or make other changes, and then they want to do more training. So what this means is that they often need short-term clustered capacity. And it's something that really no cloud has been addressing until just a few weeks ago, when we announced EC2 capacity blocks for ML. And EC2 capacity blocks are the first consumption model in the industry that enables any customer to reserve the highly sought-after GPU capacity to run for short duration machine learning workloads. And this eliminates the need to hold on to the capacity, that they're using, just so they can be certain that they can use it later if they need to use it later. Now, EC2 capacity blocks are deployed in ultra clusters interconnected with our EFA networking that we talked about this morning. And that enables customers to scale up to hundreds of GPUs in a single cluster with this new offering. So with the capacity blocks, customers can plan for their ML workload deployments with certainty, and they know that they're going to have the GPU capacity when they need it, and only when they need it. Now, support for the latest generation high-performance GPUs, combined with our innovations virtualization, networking, cluster management, these are reasons why AWS is the best place to run GPUs in the world. But to drive innovation and the broad choices that our customers want in ML and AI, we realized a few years ago that, again, here, another place, we'd have to innovate all the way down to the silicon, just like we did with Graviton for general purpose computing. And that's why we built Trainium and Inferentia. So Trainium is our purpose-built chip for training machine learning workloads, machine learning models. And Inferentia is our chip optimized for running inference on those models. So earlier this year, we already announced the second generation of our Inferentia chip, Inferentia 2. And because we optimized for inference, the Inf2 instances, which are powered by Inferentia 2, offer the best, lowest cost inference in EC2 while also delivering up to 4 times higher throughput and 10 times lower latency compared to the Inf1 instances. Customers like Adobe, Deutsche Telekom, Leonardo AI, they've all seen great early results. And they are deploying their generative AI models at scale with Inferentia 2. We've also seen a lot of interest in Trainium as well. Our TRN1 instances, powered by Trainium, have been deployed by a lot of customers, including Anthropic, partners like Databricks, and Ricoh. And our own Amazon search team uses TRN1 instances to train large-scale deep learning models. They're taking advantage of Trainium's high performance, scale, reliability, and low cost. But as customers continue to train bigger and bigger models on larger and larger data sets, we realized we needed to keep pushing on price performance. We're never done there. And today, I'm really excited to announce AWS Trainium 2, our second generation. It's our second generation chip that's purpose-built for high-performance training of foundation models. Trainium 2 is designed to deliver up to 4 times faster performance compared to our first generation chips, and that makes it ideal for training foundation models with hundreds of billions or even trillions of parameters. Trainium 2 is going to power the next generation of EC2 ultra clusters and will deliver up to 65 exaflops of aggregate compute. And we expect the first Trainium 2-based instances are going to be available next year, and we're really excited to see what customers are going to do with them. Meanwhile, a lot of other cloud providers are still just talking about their own ML chips. We've also made a lot of exciting progress in building the software toolchain that supports Trainium and Inferentia. So AWS Neuron is our software development kit that helps customers get maximum performance from ML chips. Neuron supports machine learning frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, with JAX support coming really soon. And so customers can use their existing knowledge to build training and inference pipelines with just a few lines of code. And Neuron supports the most popular models, including 93 of the top 100 and counting. Importantly, you also need the right tools to help train and deploy your models. And this is why we have Amazon SageMaker, our managed service that makes it easy for developers to train, tune, build, manage machine learning and foundation models. In the 6 years since we launched SageMaker, we've introduced a lot of powerful innovations like automatic model tuning, distributed training, flexible model deployment, tools for ML ops, and built-in features like responsible AI. SageMaker has been instrumental in democratizing ML for tens of thousands of customers, including Stability AI, AI21 Labs, Thomson Reuters, AstraZeneca, 3M Health Information Systems, Ferrari, and more. And SageMaker can train models with up to billions of parameters. For example, TII has trained the 180 billion parameter Falcon FM, which is the world's largest publicly available model, on SageMaker using 3,000 GPUs and petabytes of data stored in S3. And you can also deploy this top-ranked model using SageMaker. We've also been working closely with Hugging Face to support their models on SageMaker and have collaborated to create the Hugging Face AWS deep learning containers to help accelerate training and deployment of FMs using SageMaker, Trainium, and Inferentia. So if you're building your own models, AWS is relentlessly focused on everything you need: the best chips, the most advanced virtualization, powerful petabit scale networking capabilities, hyperscale clustering, and the right tools to help you build. But of course, an enormous number of organizations just want to be able to access the most powerful models out there. They want to get started quickly, experimenting with different FMs, and testing different use cases, and to meet the enormous opportunity head on. But they also have questions like, which model should I even use, and how do I decide which are best for my application? How can I move quickly to build and deploy generative AI applications? And how can I keep my data secure and private? That's why we're investing in that middle layer of the stack. Now, we know that many of you need it to be easier to access a powerful and diverse set of models, LLMs, other foundation models, and then to quickly build applications with them all the time, maintaining your security and privacy. And that's why we built Amazon Bedrock. So Bedrock is the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications for LLMs and other foundation models. And customers in every industry are already using Bedrock to reinvent their user experiences, their products, and their processes, and to bring AI into the heart of their businesses. So why Bedrock? So first, you enjoy the broadest choice of models, many of which are available first, or in some cases only, on Bedrock. You can add your own business context quickly, easily, and privately with the broadest selection of customization options. And you get enterprise-grade security and privacy because we designed it that way from day one. And the customer excitement's been overwhelming. We made the service generally available in September, and now over 10,000 customers are using Bedrock around the world across virtually every industry. Adidas is enabling developers to get quick, accurate answers to deep technical questions. Carrier is using Bedrock to combine historical actions, predictive analytics, systems alerts, and data trends to provide recommendations. And these are helping customers reduce their energy consumption and cut carbon emissions. NASDAQ is using Bedrock to automate investigative workflows on suspicious transactions and to strengthen their anti-financial crime and surveillance capabilities. So many more, including Bridgewater Associates, Clariant, Cox Automotive, GoDaddy, LexisNexis, Merck, Omnicom Group are all using Bedrock. They're all using it to build Gen AI applications today. But it's still early days. Everyone's moving fast, experimenting, learning, and at the same time, the generative AI technology itself is evolving quickly with new developments practically every day. And customers are finding that different models actually work better for different use cases or on different sets of data. Some models are great for summarization, others are good for reasoning and integration, and still others have awesome language support. And then there's image generation, search use cases, and more, all coming from both proprietary models and models that are publicly available to everybody. I mean, things are moving so fast. And in that type of environment, the ability to adapt is the most valuable capability that you can have. There's not going to be one model to rule them all. And there's certainly not going to be one company providing the models that everybody uses. So you don't want a cloud provider who's beholden primarily to one model provider. You need to be trying out different models. You need to be able to switch between them rapidly, even combining them with the same use cases. And you need a real choice of model providers as you decide who's got the best technology, but also who has the dependability that you need in a business partner. I think the events of the past 10 days have made that very clear. We've been consistent about this need for choice for the whole history of AWS. And that's the approach that we clearly laid out when we started talking about our generative AI strategy almost a year ago. And that's why we continue to innovate to make building and moving between a range of foundation models as easy as an API call. Today, Bedrock provides access to a wide range of models from leaders like AI21, Anthropic, Cohere, Stability AI, as well as Amazon's own Amazon Titan models. But we didn't stop there. We were the first to make Meta's Llama 2 model available through a fully managed API. And we also recently announced our expanded collaboration with Anthropic. So Anthropic's a longtime AWS customer and one of the world's leading foundation model providers. Their models, Claude, and they got others as well, excel at a wide range of tasks from sophisticated dialogue and creative content generation to complex reasoning and detailed instructions. So as part of the collaboration, Anthropic is going to use Trainium and Inferentia to train future generations of their models. And Bedrock customers are going to have early access, not available on other clouds, to unique features for model customization and fine-tuning capabilities. So to dig in on what we're doing with Anthropic, I'd like to bring out our partner, Dario Amodei, who's the CEO and co-founder of Anthropic. Let's give him a hand. Great to see you as well. All right. Oh, we have chairs. Let's sit. Dario, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, earlier we talked about how Claude is available on Bedrock, but before we get into that, let's just talk a little bit about what Anthropic is about and what makes Claude so unique.
Yes, so Anthropic was founded on the idea that we can make AI models that are safe, reliable, and steerable while still being highly capable. The founders of Anthropic were a set of people who worked at OpenAI for several years. We developed ideas like GPT-3, reinforcement learning from human feedback, scaling laws for language models, some of the key ideas behind the current generative AI boom. 7 of us left and founded Anthropic. Our foundation model, Claude, in addition to being safe and reliable, excels at a lot of knowledge work tasks like content generation, summarization, Q&A, complex reasoning, things like that. We have an industry-leading context window of 200K tokens. That's about 150,000 words, which makes it well-suited for areas like legal, finance, insurance, coding, things like that. And about half of the Fortune 500 are using or are testing Claude.
So amazing progress. So just a few months ago, obviously Amazon and Anthropic announced kind of an enhanced strategic collaboration. Anthropic named AWS as your primary cloud provider for mission-critical workloads, and you're going to be training and deploying future generations of Claude and foundation models on AWS. So just tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, what led up to this and how that relationship between Anthropic and AWS grew.
Yeah, so Anthropic's use of AWS goes back to our early history, back all the way in the mists of time in 2021.
Wait, you can even remember that, right?
We've trained our first model on AWS, and so we're excited now to say that you guys are our primary cloud provider for mission-critical workloads. I would say the partnership has 3 components. First is the compute side, which I just discussed, which we've been doing throughout our history. The second is on the provision to customer side. We're very excited to hear about Amazon Bedrock. We really recognize the value that we could provide to customers working together. And the third side is the hardware. We're currently working with you guys to optimize Training and Inferentia for our use cases and hopefully for other use cases. And we really believe that we can achieve that 4x faster than the first generation Training that you just announced, if we optimize these things together. And so putting together these 3 pieces, layers of the stack, really allows us to provide things to customers together that couldn't be provided before, things like customization of models, use of proprietary data, and unique fine-tuning features.
Well, the respect we have for you guys is just tremendous. I mean, truly world-class expertise for the Anthropic team. I've really enjoyed working together, and the models are just so powerful. So obviously we are aiming to, and I think we're in the process of improving an incredible array of customer experiences through this collaboration. And of course, our own Amazon developers also have access to Anthropic models on Bedrock and throughout the company. And we're not only working to provide customers with this, but we're giving them early access to unique features that they're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And we're out there together with our Generative AI Innovation Center, working with customers in the field, helping them to actually get targeted. And that's allowing us, of course, to bring this expertise and the domain-specific expertise that they need to customize the models. And as we've been out there together, and it's been hot and heavy, particularly the past few weeks, but before that as well, what are some of the most interesting use cases that you've seen?
Yeah, so I'll give 3 examples across different industries. There's many others, but this should give a sense of the range. And we've seen a lot of organic adoption. One example in the biomedical space, we're happy to announce we're working with Pfizer. I'm a former biologist myself, so I'm really excited for any way AI can advance medical science and bring life-saving drugs to people around the world. In the legal space, we made a custom fine-tuned model, deployed it through you guys for LexisNexis to help with their legal search, in a way that's kind of fact-based and produce citations. And in the finance space, we're working with Bridgewater Associates to develop an investment analyst assistant. Beyond that, just some examples, we've engaged with 7 out of 10 of some of the largest players in the insurance and banking industries, and could tell similar stories about other industries. So we're excited to see new use cases and where all of this goes.
It's incredible momentum. I'm just the financial services example to be working with that many leaders. So just last week, you're not standing still, right? So just last week, you announced Claude 2.1. So that's got a whole lot of new advancements and key capabilities. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Claude 2.1 really, is a release that's targeted at enterprises. So a few different features. One is we've doubled our context window to 200,000 tokens. Tokens is a term of art in the AI space. What it amounts to is about 150,000 words, which is a relatively long book. And so use cases like reading financial statements, reading an entire long book, and one of my favorites, putting multiple documents in the context window and asking the model to compare them or integrate them. A second feature is that we've reduced the rate of so-called hallucinations, which is when models say things that aren't true, by about 2x. We've seen across the industry a core obstacle to deployment in the enterprise world is people are worried that models will say things that aren't true. No one has perfectly solved this problem, but we are really leading the way in getting more and more reductions. And then we also have some beta features. We're introducing system prompts, tool use as a beta feature, and a developer workbench. Again, all tools targeted at people building for enterprises. We're excited to see all the use cases that emerge from this.
I'm speechless. That is such incredible progress. You talked about the reduction of hallucination, really important topic. Just more broadly, I think we share a belief that AI should be safe, secure, responsible, and benefit society. And we've been engaged in a lot of groups and organizations that are promoting the development and deployment of responsible AI. In fact, I keep bumping into Dario around the world at some of these various gatherings, which is nice. So I know this is a particular passion of yours, and can you tell us a little bit more about Anthropic's work in this area?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is something we were founded on and that we care about deeply. I would categorize it into two areas where we've done work in this area. One is the way we design our own models, and the other is the way that we try to set an example for the ecosystem and bring others along so that ultimately everyone becomes safer and more reliable. So large fraction, on the first one, a large fraction of our research org works on safety. We put a lot of work into making our models hard to break, making them secure against misuse and harmful use. There was a recent study out of Carnegie Mellon where people tried to adversarially break different models, and it found that they were able to successfully break Claude 10 times less often than they were able to break the competitor's model. So there's a real difference here. Second, we've put a lot of effort into interpretability, seeing inside the models. There's no commercial deployments on that so far, but it's been a long arc, and I am hopeful that relatively soon, for both compliance and for understanding what models do and therefore reducing bad behavior from the models, we'll be able to make a lot of progress. On the wider ecosystem, we always try to create a race to the top. Do something, and then competitors, other players in the ecosystem follow along and do the same thing. An example of this is a responsible scaling policy where we front-loaded safety investment ahead of model scaling, a kind of pre-deployment testing regime like what's done for cars and airplanes. And in the policy space, we've continually advocated for governments to build up their ability to evaluate and measure AI systems. If we're not able to evaluate and measure things, we'll get either no regulation or poorly informed regulation. We need to all work together to make sure that we can develop quickly, responsibly, but in a way that's secure.
I just love the concept of the race to the top. It's so positive. And what you're doing is so amazing. I mean, we've said in the whole 17 years that AWS has been providing services that so much of what gives us energy is just working with the coolest, most cutting-edge startups and entrepreneurs in the world, and there is just no better example than what's happening in generative AI now and what Anthropic's doing. So it's great to be partnering together so deeply, and really appreciate you joining me here on stage today.
Yeah, excited for everything we can do together.
Thank you. All right. All righty, so that was amazing. Thank you so much again, Dario, for coming out and joining us. Really appreciate it. So the innovation around generative AI models is explosive, and we really look forward to working with all of our Bedrock partners for years to come. Incredibly innovative space. And we're also excited about the large language models and other foundation models that we're building ourselves at Amazon. So our Amazon Titan models were created and pre-trained by AWS. And we're building our own models in order to bring actually a few benefits to customers. So we do have a lot of expertise here. I mean, Amazon has been working on AI for 25 years, got a long track record. We use the technology across our business, and we've learned a lot about building and deploying models. And as a result, we can provide a whole range of models that offer really powerful capabilities and also great economics to support a whole bunch of use cases. And we carefully choose how we train our models and the data that we use to do so. And we're actually going to indemnify customers against claims that our models or their outputs infringe on anybody's copyright. Now, there are already multiple models in the Titan family. We've got Titan Text Lite, which is ideal for text-based tasks like summarization. We've also got Titan Text Express, which is great for more advanced general language tasks like copy editing, copywriting. And we've also got the Titan Text Embeddings model for search use cases or personalization. And we're going to continue adding models to the Titan family. And if you're interested in that, then I highly recommend you tune into Swami's keynote tomorrow. A little word up. Now, all of the foundation models that I've been talking about, they're all extremely capable, and they all enable a lot of great applications. But to really drive your business, you need generative AI that understands your business, understands your customers, understands your products, your operations. And that's only possible when you use your own data to improve and customize the models. The models have to become unique to you. So Amazon Bedrock is giving you all of the purpose-built capabilities that you need to customize the AI applications with your own data. So with a few clicks, you can go from generic applications to ones that are highly specific and highly tailored. So one important technique is called fine-tuning. Now with fine-tuning, you point the models to examples of data in S3 that you've labeled to provide context. For example, you might point to proposals, and you've labeled some of those proposals as strong. So in this way, the model learns from your data, what matters the most to you. And then Bedrock makes a copy of the base models, it trains it, it creates a private, fine-tuned model so you get tailored responses. So fine-tuning is available in Amazon Titan Text Lite and Express, and today it's also generally available for Cohere Command Lite and Meta Llama 2, and fine-tuning is coming to Anthropic Claude soon. So a second technique for tailoring foundation models for your business is called a retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. Another one of the terms you see out there a lot. So RAG allows you to customize a model's responses when you want the model to consider new knowledge or up-to-date information. So Bedrock does this for you by calling and bringing back your own data, your data, from multiple sources, including document repositories, databases, other APIs, and more. So for example, the model might use RAG to retrieve search results from our Amazon OpenSearch service or documents from S3. In September, we introduced a RAG capability called Knowledge Bases that connects FM to your proprietary data sources to supplement your prompts with more information. And today, Knowledge Bases is generally available. All right. Thank you. All right, now a third way that you can customize models inside of Bedrock is a technique called continued pre-training. So continued pre-training is a technique that uses large amounts of unlabeled data. Before you fine-tuning, you did the labeled data. Here's unlabeled data, like the raw text of internal reports, financial plans, or research results that you have. And that's going to be used to improve the model's knowledge and its reasoning capabilities, using things in your own specific domain. So continued pre-training is, of course, available in Bedrock today. Now, all of these techniques, they're all powerful tools in making generative AI targeted, making it truly useful for your business. And Bedrock makes it really easy to combine these techniques together. So a great example of a customer using Bedrock to customize their generative AI applications is Delta Airlines. So Delta is actually modernizing its customer service capability with generative AI built on Amazon Bedrock. The new tool is going to be available to answer questions in a more relevant and conversational style by accessing Delta's travel policies, real-time flight schedules, customer rebooking options, and airport conditions. So for example, it could respond to simple questions like, how many bags can I check on a Delta flight? And it can also do more complex questions like, can I carry my cat with me in the cabin to Jamaica? Of course, what else are you going to do with your cat? Delta's been testing with different foundation models in Bedrock, including Anthropic Claude 2.0, Claude Instant, and a fine-tuned Amazon Titan Text Express model. And in this way, they can use the right model to answer different customer questions. It's really powerful how they can combine the most relevant information needed to answer any specific question. Now, with the new customer service tool, Delta Airlines is aiming to provide a delightful and conversational self-service experience, and it's going to improve customer satisfaction. So everyone wants more relevant generative AI applications, right? And Bedrock's making it a lot easier to customize those applications with your own data. But at the end of the day, you want FMs to do more than just provide useful and targeted information. Ultimately, what you're going to want is to use FMs to take action, to actually get things done. And we wanted you to be able to use Bedrock to complete actions like booking travel, filing insurance claims, deploying software, maybe ordering replacement parts. And this usually requires orchestration between multiple systems that operate in your organization. And that's why a few months ago, we introduced agents for Bedrock. And today I'm happy to announce that this powerful feature is today generally available. Now with agents, Gen AI applications can execute multi-step tasks across company systems and data sources, from answering customer questions about product availability to taking a sales order and more. And building with agents is really easy. First, you use Bedrock's setup wizard to select the appropriate model. Then you give the model basic instructions to help the model understand how to respond, like you are a friendly customer service agent who helps customers return items. Next, you specify the Lambda functions that execute the API calls to retrieve the information that's relevant to the task, for example, return policies or inventory levels. And finally, you select the data sources. Then you just select Create Agent, and Bedrock configures your agent, and it is now ready to run. When the agent receives a request, it uses its reasoning capabilities to analyze and to plan the task. And the model works out the sequence of steps, the information needed, the APIs to call, and when to call them. Then it executes the plan, taking all the steps that it needs to gather the information and then complete the task. All in the background, no need to engineer prompts, no need to train the FMs, no need to manually connect systems. With agents, generative AI is becoming an integral part of your business, making it easy to take actions and get tasks done, no heavy lifting required. So we've talked about how Bedrock's making it easy to choose amongst leading models, and also how it gives you so many different ways to customize your generative AI applications with your own data, and how it can help combine the power of models into your organization's systems, your data, and your API to actually take action. But you won't actually use any of this in a serious way if it isn't secure and private. I mean, you demand the same rock-solid reliability, the same security for generative AI that you do for any workload. You really need this to have nothing more and nothing less than everything you expect from an AWS service. It's just like S3, EC2, RDS. Bedrock has got to have enterprise-grade security features to make your data safe and private, and that's what it has. Bedrock customers can trust that their data remains protected. No customer data is going to be used to train or improve the original base models. When you tune a model, we make a private copy of that model, we put it in a secure container, and it goes nowhere. Your data is never exposed to the public internet, never leaves the AWS network. It's securely transferred through your VPC. It's encrypted in transit and at rest. And Bedrock enforces the same AWS access controls you have with any of our other services. Bedrock also supports a variety of regulatory standards. It's HIPAA eligible. It can be used in compliance with GDPR. And we've added a bunch of other security and governance capabilities, including integrations with CloudWatch to track usage and metrics, CloudTrail to monitor API activity and troubleshoot activity. And today, Bedrock is SOC compliant. Now, this helps ensure that customers can have strong controls and policies in place and helps it be used in every business. Now, beyond security, we need generative AI to be deployed in a safe, trustworthy, and responsible fashion, like we were talking about a few minutes ago. And that's our North Star. And the capabilities that make Gen AI such a promising tool for innovation also do increase the potential for misuse. We've got to find ways to unlock generative AI's full potential while mitigating the risks. Now, dealing with this challenge is going to require unprecedented collaboration and a truly multi-stakeholder effort across technology companies, policymakers, community groups, scientific communities, and academics. We've been actively participating in a lot of the groups that have come together to discuss these issues. Earlier this year, I joined President Biden and other industry leaders like Dario as he announced that we've made a series of voluntary commitments to promoting the safe, the secure, and the transparent development of AI technology. And just this month, I joined UK Prime Minister Sunak for his AI Safety Summit to discuss new approaches, including the formation of their new AI Safety Institute. Now, an important component of responsible AI is promoting the interactions between your consumers and the applications that are safe, that avoid harmful outputs, and that stay within your company's guidelines. And the easiest way to do this is to actually place limits on what information the models can and can't return. And we've been working hard here. And today, we're announcing guardrails for Amazon Bedrock. Now, this is a new capability that helps you easily safeguard your generative AI applications with your responsible AI policies. To create a guardrail, Bedrock provides a configuration wizard so you can enter a natural language description of the topics that you want the model to avoid. Guardrails can be used with any of the foundation models accessible via Bedrock, including the custom models that you create through your own fine-tuning. And you can also use guardrails with agents. So now you can have a consistent level of protection across all of your Gen AI development activities. For example, a bank could configure an online assistant to refrain from providing investment advice. Or to prevent inappropriate content, an e-commerce site could ensure that its online assistant doesn't use hate speech or insults. Or a utility company could remove personally identifiable information, or PII, from a customer service call summary. So we're approaching the whole concept of generative AI in a fundamentally different way because we understand what it takes to reinvent how you're going to build with this technology. Just as you've used AWS to reinvent how you've built and innovated for years, and ultimately to transform how your organization operates. Whether you're migrating enterprise applications, building the next hot startup, or deploying your generative AI strategy, our approach remains the same: customer obsession, innovation, and a long-term view of what joint success really means. To tell us more about how her company is built on AWS and is now reinventing with generative AI, please welcome to the stage Lidia Fonseca, the Chief Digital and Technical Officer of Pfizer.
I'd like to start by asking, how many patients do you think Pfizer treated last year? You may be thinking in the millions, but in fact, we treated 1.3 billion patients with our medicines and vaccines. That's 1 out of 6 humans on the planet. A truly humbling accomplishment, and we're grateful to be recognized as an innovative and ethical company. Listed in Fortune's World's Most Admired Companies, Forbes' World's Best Employers, and Time Magazine's World's Best Companies. Pfizer is experiencing an exciting period of innovation and growth with the launch of 19 medicines and vaccines in 18 months. This has never been done by us or any other pharma company. It is an incredibly ambitious goal, and we are well on our way with 13 already launched. Digital, data, and AI are critical to our success, and what differentiates Pfizer is that we apply this across all business units, our 36 plants, and the 149 markets that we serve, quickly and at scale, to bring medicines to patients faster. Our success today rests on the groundwork we laid for technology and AI to flourish. Centralizing our data, creating standard platforms, cultivating strong talent, and building a secure foundation, all to innovate for maximum impact. We could not have achieved this tremendous reach without our close relationship with AWS. So let me share a bit about our journey together. In 2019, Pfizer and AWS created a pioneering scientific data cloud that aggregates multimodal data from hundreds of laboratory instruments, empowering our scientists to search all historical molecule and compound data in real time compared to weeks or months in our prior fragmented environment. And the scientific data cloud accelerates analysis and computational research, and with AI algorithms that help us identify and design the most promising new molecules. Building on that success, in 2021, Pfizer embarked on one of our boldest initiatives, going from 10% of our core in the cloud to 80%, moving 12,000 applications and 8,000 servers in 42 weeks, one of the fastest migrations for a company our size. This move to AWS saved us $47 million a year and helped us exit 3 data centers, reducing 4,700 tons of CO2 emissions, or the equivalent energy use by 1,000 homes in a year. But very importantly, it enabled us to innovate with speed and at scale. For example, we reduced time to set up computing capacity from months to hours, speeding up data generation for drug submissions by 75%. And when COVID hit, AWS was one of the first to offer their help, scaling us into the tens of thousands of additional cores in the cloud, accelerating manufacturing and clinical trials. When we ran computationally intensive analysis to understand how to manufacture our COVID vaccine, AWS jumped in with additional CPUs for us to move fast. And when we needed to submit data to the FDA in under a day, AWS increased our capacity, enabling Pfizer to move at the speed of science. In fact, it took just 269 days from when we announced our plans to develop a COVID-19 vaccine with BioNTech to the day that we received the FDA's emergency use authorization. This normally takes 8 to 10 years. Thank you. With the world waiting, we needed to manufacture and distribute the vaccine as quickly as possible. We held firm to our mantra, science will win. Well, science did win, and digital helped us do it faster. Pfizer's industry-leading digital operations center allows colleagues to see production status across plants and resolve issues in real time, yielding a 20% throughput increase. Our mRNA prediction algorithm yielded 20,000 more vaccine doses per batch. Imagine the lives impacted. To give you an idea of the scale, prior to COVID, Pfizer produced 220 million vaccine doses in total and scaled to 4 billion of Comirnaty in 2022. This is now at the heart of how our plants operate, and we're applying these innovations to our other medicines and vaccines. More recently, AWS helped us apply AI to generate alerts about potential supply chain disruptions, prompting us to reroute shipments to continue delivering medicines to clinical trial sites ahead of Hurricane Ian's landfall. Digital and AI make it possible for Pfizer to bring medicines to patients around the globe faster than ever before. Now, let's look at what's next. As you heard, Pfizer has been harnessing AI to drive innovation and productivity on a global scale. More recently, we are leveraging generative AI, which is estimated to deliver annual cost savings of $750 million to $1 billion in the near term. Real tangible value. Using AWS cloud services, Pfizer quickly deployed Vox, our internal generative AI platform, allowing colleagues to access large language models available in Amazon Bedrock and SageMaker. AWS's breadth of services and the variety of LLMs in Bedrock means we can select the best tools for use cases in R&D, manufacturing, marketing, and more, enabling Pfizer and AWS to prototype 17 different use cases in a matter of weeks. AI and generative AI will help us identify new oncology targets, a process that is largely manual today. With AI, we can search and collate relevant data and scientific content from many more sources in a fraction of the time. And algorithms generate and validate potential targets to improve our scientific success. With Bedrock, we can scan the marketplace for companies and assets, automating the creation of company profiles to prioritize potential acquisitions. In manufacturing, Bedrock takes the optimal process parameters to identify what we call the golden batch and uses generative AI to detect anomalies and recommend actions to our operators in real time, aiming to improve cycle time by 25%. AWS's agile culture aligns well with Pfizer's light speed way of working. We look forward to building on our learnings to understand not just how AI can transform our daily work, but how it may help us disrupt the industry. To close, we're excited to accelerate our battle against cancer with Pfizer's proposed acquisition of Seagen, a biotech focused on cancer therapies. We plan to bring Seagen's leading-edge antibody-drug conjugate technology to more patients with cancer faster. You see, we hope to achieve with cancer what we were able to achieve with COVID. Our work with the AWS will help us continue this great momentum, fueling our ambition to change 1 billion lives every year, not just in a pandemic year. Thank you, AWS, for helping Pfizer bring breakthroughs to patients faster, because in the battle against disease, time is life. Thank you all.
One out of every 6 people on the planet are impacted by Pfizer. I mean, that is just so impressive, so impressive. Lidia, it means so much to us, honestly, that you've trusted AWS to help deliver all these capabilities, these breakthroughs that are changing people's lives. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Adam. AWS has just been an amazing partner.
Thank you. We look forward to more.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So organizations across the globe are using AWS for agility, for speed, and for the scale that they need to drive their futures. But this requires employees with top-notch cloud skills, and we know that not enough people have that cloud expertise, and that there's a large skill gap that's got to be closed. So generative AI is, of course, the next incredibly exciting new opportunity, but it's only going to add to that gap. And so we're investing to help provide the cloud skills that are going to be needed across the world for years to come. AWS is committed to training 29 million people for free with cloud computing skills by the year 2025, and we're well on our way with 21 million already trained. And we just recently launched the AWS Cloud Institute, which is providing deep cloud expertise to help students launch an entire cloud career. And we've also launched 100 different machine learning and AI courses and resources to support innovation. And just over a week ago, we announced AI Ready, which is our new commitment to provide free AI skills to another 2 million people by 2025. And to help students around the world to learn the foundation skills and to prepare for a career in tech, we actually created an AI and machine learning scholarship fund. Let's meet some of the recipients.
My name is Vanya Agarwal.
My name is Jose Tapia.
My name is Olympia Tieno.
Without the AWS AI and ML scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to develop my own questions, know what tools are available to solve them.
The nano degree has definitely unlocked my interest in AI. I constantly try to go out there and talk to girls who are confused about what to do in life.
In Kenya, due to crop diseases, the rate at which the yields have been dropping is devastating. So my colleagues and I have made a mobile application. With AI, farmers prevent the spread of the crop diseases. The fact that I was able to go through the program, I now know that I am capable of doing well in this field.
I mean, this is why we do this stuff, right? But we're actually lucky enough to have Jose and Olympia here with us today. So come on, let's give them a round of applause. There we go. To both of you, I'm so proud. I'm really proud of what you guys have done. And I just really hope the reInvent this week is just a great, great experience for you. Thank you so much for letting us share your stories. And for everyone watching, we want to empower all of you to build and to have that kind of impact. And we see a huge opportunity to help that by infusing generative AI into all of the systems that people are using into their daily lives. We believe that generative AI should help everyone at work seamlessly with helpful, relevant assistance, whether or not you know the first thing about foundation models, RAG, or any of the rest. And that brings us to the top of the stack, the applications that you use that are powered by generative AI, leveraging foundation models. We believe that generative AI, of course, has the potential over time to transform virtually every customer experience that we know. It can pore through the nooks and crannies of a system and actually help you find data that you didn't even know existed and then help you put it to optimal use. It can generate insights that can save hours of manual work. And it can take projects that were slogs and make them a snap. Now, one important example is how generative AI can make the task of writing code radically faster. And so last year, we released Amazon Code Whisperer, which helps you build generative AI, which helps you build applications, I should say, faster and more securely by generating code suggestions in near real time. Now, with Code Whisperer, developers use a natural language prompt and then receive accurate code suggestions in every popular IDE and for 15 of the most popular programming languages. A Code Whisperer gives developers a powerful boost for general code examples. And of course, we made sure that it's great for providing specific suggestions for AWS code. Customers including Warner Music Group, the Bundesliga, and the Cigna Group have embraced Code Whisperer to accelerate their development capabilities. And Tata Consultancy Services, Accenture, and HCL Tech are making Code Whisperer available to tens of thousands of employees each. Now, Kone, a global leader in the elevator and escalator industry, they actually believe that Code Whisperer is a game changer for them. We want as many developers as possible to reap the benefits. And so what we've done is to make Code Whisperer, to make the code suggestions in it free for individual use. Now, the recommendations in Code Whisperers are great for general coding tasks, but general coding suggestions can only get your developers so far. Imagine you've just hired a new developer. Even if they are world-class, they are not going to do their best work until they understand your code base and your internal best practices. And AI-powered coding tools are similar. You can have a great tool, but for the kind of speed and relevancy that makes the most difference, your solution has to understand the context of your code. And the best place to find that context is inside of your internal APIs, your libraries, and your packages. That's why a couple months ago, we previewed a capability that allows Code Whisperer to securely learn from your internal code base to provide much, much more pertinent, customized, and useful code recommendations. And with customizations, Code Whisperer is an expert on your code and can provide much more tailored suggestions, creating an understanding of your internal SDKs, your APIs, your languages, and your classes. And of course, any customizations are isolated. We never use customers' content from Code Whisperer to train any of our underlying models. Now, to understand the impact of this kind of customization, we worked with Persistent, a digital engineering provider. Now, their study showed that developers using Code Whisperer completed their tasks an additional 28% faster with customizations than without, 28%. And AWS is the only major cloud provider that's currently offering a customization capability that anyone can sign up for and use today. And we're really excited about Code Whisperer customizations, and how it's going to help you accelerate your work and increase your impact. But we're just getting started, and we see a lot more potential uses with generative AI. For example, think about generative AI chat applications. So these days, it seems like just about everyone is experimenting with them, right? And what the early providers in this space have done is really exciting, and it's genuinely super useful for consumers. But in a lot of ways, these applications don't really work at work. I mean, their general knowledge and their capabilities are great, but they don't know your company, they don't know your data, your customers, or your operations, and this limits how useful their suggestions can be. They also don't know much about who you are at work. They don't know your role, your preferences, what information you use, and what you do and don't have access to. So critically, other providers who've launched tools, they've launched them without data privacy and security capabilities that virtually every enterprise requires. And so many CIOs actually banned the use of a lot of these most popular chat assistants inside their organizations, and this has been well publicized. And just ask any chief information security officer or CISO, and they'll tell you, you can't really bolt on security after the fact and expect it to work as well. It's much, much better to build security into the fundamental design of the technology. So when we set out to build generative AI applications, we knew we had to address these gaps. It had to be built in from the very start. And that's why today I'm really proud and excited to announce Amazon Q, a new type of generative AI-powered assistant designed to work for you at work. Q lets you answer questions quickly with natural language interactions. You can easily chat, generate content, take actions. It's all informed by an understanding of your systems, your data repositories, your operations. And of course, we know how important rock-solid security and privacy are, so that Q understands and respects your existing identities, your roles, and your permissions. If a user does not have permission to access something without Q, they cannot access it with Q either. And we've designed Q to meet enterprise requirements, enterprise customers' stringent requirements from day one. And we never want business customers' content. We're never going to use that content for Q to train underlying models. I really believe this is going to be transformative. We want lots of different kinds of people who do lots of different kinds of work to benefit from Amazon Q. Now, as you might expect, we want Q to help developers and builders be more efficient, more knowledgeable, and more proficient. So for starters, Amazon Q is your expert assistant for building on AWS. Now, to supercharge work for developers and IT pros, we've trained Amazon Q on 17 years' worth of AWS knowledge so it can transform the way you think, optimize, and operate applications and workloads on AWS. And we put Amazon Q where you work. So it's ready to assist you in the AWS Management Console and documentation, in your IDE via Code Whisperer, and in your team chat rooms like Slack. You can chat with AWS Q to explore AWS capabilities, learn unfamiliar technologies, architect solutions. It's an expert in AWS well-architected patterns, best practices, and solution implementations. For example, you could ask Amazon Q, how do I build a web application with AWS? What are my options? It's going to answer with a list of potential services that you could use, such as Amplify, Lambda, or EC2, and then it's going to offer reasons why you might consider each service. From there, you can further narrow down your options through natural language, like which of these would be preferred if my app only needs to run for a few seconds and only has very infrequent traffic. Lambda. Amazon Q is going to take your requirements into consideration and is going to provide you with the best possible recommendations. And once you've chosen a service, you can ask Amazon Q, how do I get started? And Q is going to give you step-by-step instructions for configuring the solution, plus links to relevant information, to documentation, and so on. And this is just the beginning of how Amazon Q is going to help you with your work. For example, if you encounter an error with Lambda in the console, you just press the Troubleshoot with Amazon Q button. And Q is going to research the error, and it's going to suggest how to fix it. Amazon Q can also troubleshoot your network connections. It can analyze your end-to-end network configuration and help resolve connectivity issues quickly. That is a huge time saver. Now, what else can Q help us with? How about choosing the optimal EC2 instance? So you can just tell Q about your workload and get an accurate, quick, and economical instance type recommendation. For example, which EC2 instance types provide the highest performance for video encoding and transcoding workloads supporting gaming use cases? And you get your recommendation. It's that easy. This is all very cool, and we expect that Amazon Q is going to save customers so much time in architecting, in troubleshooting, and in optimizing your workloads. But that's not all that Q can do for you. Amazon Q is also going to be in the IDE for developers. If you're unfamiliar with the code in the IDE, or you need to dig into how a specific function works, Amazon Q in Code Whisperer is going to help you get up to speed by using its deep knowledge of AWS and its understanding of your code bases. So you need to add tests. Just ask Q, and it's going to automatically generate the tests for you. And this is going to make a huge difference for developers. But we knew we could do even more to help you build even faster. For example, think about everything that goes into building a new feature. You have to understand requirements, think through design, write all the code, add tests, document the code, and so on. And a file could span hundreds to even thousands of lines of code, and this is a daunting task. If you're using Amazon Code Whisperer, it's going to generate chunks of new code for you, which is a real time saver, but that still leaves all the rest. So this sounds like a job for Amazon Q. Specifically, Q's feature development capability, which is going to automate the multi-step development task of adding new features to your application. So instead of all that work, now you just write a prompt, and Q is going to use its expertise, enriched with an understanding of your project code, and it's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. So Amazon Q will create the draft plan, which you can then collaborate and iteratively improve using natural language chat until it's polished and ready to go. And then Q really kicks into gear. It's going to implement the plan across your files in your application, and you remain in control using your expertise to review changes and ensure the very best quality. So this is hours of work that Q can do for you with just one good prompt. And this feature is available today in Amazon Code Catalyst and will soon be fully available in the IDE. You will not currently find an AI assistant from another major cloud provider that can do this for you today. But we're not done yet. Let's keep going. We know that developers spend a lot of time slogging through the muck that comes with maintenance and upgrades. Maintenance and upgrades, big deal, right? So take language version upgrades, for example. How many of you are using older versions of Java because it's going to take months or even years to upgrade? Hands? Oh yeah, a lot of them. So migrations inevitably come with a lot of nuance and edge cases. And so you end up spending a ton of time writing and rewriting the code over and over again and trying to get it to compile and work. And sometimes these programs take so long that it feels like you're in a migration infinity loop. Just as one ends, the next begins. It's not hard to understand the temptation to just maintain status quo. But doing that means that you miss out on performance improvements. And it means much worse that it can also open you up to potential security vulnerabilities. And that's why we built into Amazon Q code transformation, which helps you with upgrades and to transform code in a fraction of the time that it takes today. All a developer has to do is ask Q to perform the code transformation, and it handles the rest. From identifying and upgrade and mandatory code package depositories and frameworks to replacing deprecated code and incorporating security best practices. Q's even going to run tests on the upgraded application. So we've been using this application, this capability internally, and the results are stunning. So with Amazon Q transformation, a very small team of Amazon developers successfully upgraded 1,000 applications from Java 8 to Java 17 in just 2 days. Now I'm going to say that again. 1,000 application upgrades in 2 days. That's how long a single application upgrade used to take. I mean, this is months, if not years, of developer time saved. A lot of very happy people at Amazon over this, I promise you. So today, Amazon Q can work its magic on Java upgrades, but soon you're going to be able to use it to help migrate your .NET workloads from Windows to Linux. And there are a lot of applications out there stuck on Windows because of the sheer effort required in making the migration. And this is an opportunity for huge cost savings on costly licensing fees on top of the inherent performance and the security benefits. Well, what about the other people in your organization? All the folks in marketing, finance, HR, product management, and more. There's so much information spread across your organization's documents, all of your data, all of your applications. And people in all of these different roles, they struggle every day to find the information that they need and then transform it into making decisions and taking actions and doing that fast enough to stay competitive. Finding relevant information, making recommendations, taking action, that sounds familiar, right? Yep. Amazon Q is also your business expert. Q has connections to over 40 popular enterprise systems, so employees across the organization can ask complex questions and get detailed, accurate, nuanced answers that are relevant to their role at work. And again, Q is secure and private. It respects your existing roles and the permissions that are granted uniquely to each user. We're really excited about this, and I actually wanted to show you just a little bit of Amazon Q for your business in action. So to put Q through its paces, please welcome AWS's own Dr. Matt Wood to the stage.
Thanks, Adam, and good morning, everyone. I'm excited to give you a first look at Amazon Q, a new type of AI assistant designed to be an expert in your business. With Amazon Q, you can get quick, accurate, relevant answers to your most pressing business questions, all delivered securely and privately. Getting started with Q is simple and takes just 3 steps. First, you configure Amazon Q by connecting and customizing Q with details of your own organization. Q connects to existing data sources like S3, Salesforce, Microsoft, Google, Slack, and more, supporting over 40 popular business applications and services right out of the box. Once connected, Amazon Q starts indexing all of your data and content, learning everything there is to know about your business. This includes understanding the core concepts, product names, organization structure, all the details that make your business unique. As well as indexing the data from these sources, Q also uses generative AI to understand and capture the semantic information which makes your business unique. This additional semantic information is captured as vector embeddings, allowing Q to provide highly relevant results which are tailored to your specific company and industry. Your data remains completely under your control at all times. Amazon Q never shares it externally or uses it to improve any of the underlying models. And that's it. Surprise, there is no step 3. Just open Amazon Q in your browser, and away you go, with a fully customized, secure assistant who is an expert in your business. You communicate with Q through this friendly web application designed for everyone in your organization to use. Q knows who you are and about your identity and role, and because Q understands your business semantics, you can ask far more detailed, nuanced questions and get tailored answers faster than ever before. For example, you could ask Q to analyze which product features customers are struggling with and recommend ways to improve them. As soon as you hit enter, Q gets to work on understanding your question and preparing an answer. Q starts by creating a set of input prompts automatically. Q then uses all of the business context available to find relevant data, information, and documents, and picks the best ones before combining everything together into a response, all in just a fraction of a second using the power of generative AI. Amazon Q remains faithful to your original sources, citing them in line so that you can validate the information easily. Q's experience might be magical, but there is no magical black box just giving you answers. You can upload new Word documents, CSVs, and other files on the fly to Q to incorporate into its responses, letting you ask questions about ad hoc data which hasn't yet been added to any corporate system. And Amazon Q was built with privacy and security in mind from the ground up. So even if you were to seek information to which we don't have access, Amazon Q respects your existing access controls, only returning information you're authorized to see. Admins can also restrict sensitive topics, filtering out inappropriate questions and answers where necessary. Finally, Amazon Q can take actions on your behalf through a set of configurable plugins. As an example, if you update, say, your training priorities, Q can automatically create tickets in Jira, notify leaders in Slack, and update dashboards in ServiceNow. Q allows you to inspect actions before they run, so you can review them and add additional information. And after the action runs, Q will link to the results for verification. So in summary, Amazon Q brings AI Assistant into the business world, providing secure, relevant, and actionable guidance tailored entirely to your company. We can't wait for you to try Q and see how it will help your organization. With that, back to Adam. Thanks a lot.
That was awesome. Amazon Q is going to make a huge difference for businesses. Employees are going to love how Amazon Q is going to help solve problems, discover and synthesize new information, and lift folks out of monotonous drag of repetitive tasks. And IT is going to love how all of this comes with rigorous security and privacy. Now, I know at least a few of you out there are wondering, if Amazon Q can access my data, does that mean it can help with my business intelligence? And of course, the answer is a resounding yes. So we've been working for a while to make business intelligence more accessible to people without BI expertise. We think anyone should be able to ask questions of their data using natural language. And so Amazon QuickSight, our ML-powered BI service, now has Amazon Q features built in. First, Amazon Q is going to help reduce the time that it takes business analysts to create dashboards and reports from hours down to minutes by letting them simply tell Amazon Q what they want to visualize. For example, regional sales by product has a Sankey diagram. Q comes right back with that diagram, and you can add it to your dashboard with ease. And you can tell Q to further refine the visual. Say you want to change the chart to a vertical stack bar chart by month and color-coded by region. Your wish is Q's command. With Q, you can get better dashboards faster. But even the best dashboards don't tell every angle of the story. For example, you can ask Amazon Q, where did we have the highest sales? And you get a response customized to your business data. You can ask a follow-up question, even as little as one word, like London. And because Q maintains the context of your current conversations, you can get insights from your data quickly. Now, enabling people to talk to Q in QuickSight is a big step forward in helping your organization be even more data-driven. But not everyone is getting hands-on with data. A lot of people consume data through presentations and reports. And so much of you do at work is telling stories with data. And as your business expert, Q is here to make that easier too. Let's say you want to create a monthly report on your business in North America. You can ask Q to write a monthly report about the business and make recommendations for next month. And Q is going to give you visualization options. You choose the ones you want, and then Q will format them. And in seconds, you have a beautiful and compelling story. And it's completely customizable. You can actually add more context to this section by asking Q to add a visual of the usage trend. And Q will generate a short summary. And then you can further tweak it by making it longer, shorter, or reformatting it to bullets. Let's make it longer. Once we're happy with the story, we can securely share it with others. With Amazon Q and QuickSight, you now have an expert BI assistant that's going to make it easier for business analysts, and it's going to make it easier for end users to get answers and insights faster. And these new Q capabilities in QuickSight are available in preview today. Now, a lot of organizations are looking for solutions that are targeted to horizontal use cases or specific lines of business. And AWS has applications in these areas too. So our first specialized line of business solution was Amazon Connect. So it's born in the cloud, and of course Amazon Connect is a scalable, cost-effective, easy-to-use contact center application that's reinvented customer service. Generative AI that knows your business is going to have an incredible impact on the whole customer service experience across so many different industries. Your customer service teams are at the heart of your businesses, delivering interactions that people remember for good and for bad. So getting this right really matters. Today, contact center agents spend a lot of time gathering information from customers to understand their questions, and then they spend even more time searching for the right answer. Now, Connect has made this a lot easier already with machine learning transcription and analytics, but we knew we could make it even better for your agents and certainly for the customers waiting on the other end of the line for help. Enter Amazon Q and Connect, available today. And this is going to give contact center agents a major assist. Agents can chat with Q directly inside of Amazon Connect to help them respond quickly to customer questions. Live chat with Q with fast answers is great, but what if you could make the call itself the prompt? Now, inside of Connect, Q is actually there on the calls, assisting with proposed responses, with suggested actions, and with links to relevant articles. No typing required. So contact center supervisors and administrators are also going to get a generative AI boost. Connect now automatically creates post-call summaries that supervisors can use to track follow-up actions and to uncover agent coaching opportunities. And for administrators, Connect can set up chatbots and interactive voice responses through simple natural language prompts, streamlining the process. Amazon Q is just the first of many specialized industry and use case specific services that are going to supercharge Amazon Q, so stay tuned. Amazon Q Builder, your AWS expert. AWS Q Business, your business expert. Amazon Q in QuickSight, your business intelligence expert. And Amazon Q and Connect, your contact center expert. All engineered to offer assistance that remains faithful to the information that you choose to feed it. And with the built-in security and privacy that you know and that you count on from AWS. And this is just the start of how we're going to help to reinvent the future of work. We continue to innovate across all layers of the stack to bring you what you need to harness the power of generative AI for your organization. Performant, cost-effective infrastructure. A new, secure, private, easy way to build and scale powerful new applications with foundational models. Generative AI applications and capabilities that can be enriched with the context of your business. And it's all on AWS, built with our high bar that gives you broad and deep capabilities, choice, and enterprise readiness. But it's so early in the game, and we're incredibly excited about what we're going to be able to do together. Now, there's one more thing that customers are going to need for any of this to work, and that's data, your data. No one else has it. No one else can do exactly what you can. Your data is key to setting your organization apart from the pack. And as we've discussed, generative AI has just made it so much more relevant and impactful when you tailor your data. So let's hear from a longtime customer about how they're using data to create first-class experiences for their customers. So please welcome to the stage Stephan Durach, VP of Connected Company at BMW.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's fantastic to be here. I couldn't agree more. Data is key. The automotive product complexity is strongly increasing, and development speed is essential. Let me show you how BMW is mastering data, accelerating the development process, and delivering best-in-class experience to our customers, anywhere and anytime. Across the entire product portfolio, from BMW to Mini and even Rolls-Royce, BMW is providing game-changing vehicle entertainment and experience powered by AWS. We optimize our tech stack, improve our workflow, and use data by leveraging AWS cloud technology. Let me give you some examples. Cloud Data Hub, BMW Central Data Lake, built by BMW and AWS, hosts data from our connected vehicle fleet, and while upholding the strictest data privacy standards. On top of it, teams can build their application and model, as well as deploy updates and improvement. Together, we are exploring innovative use of machine learning, including Amazon SageMaker. This automated driving platform is by BMW is building the next generation of driving assistance system on AWS. This automated driving platform is capable to handle several hundred petabytes of data from our global test fleet. We are accelerating our development, simulating, and validation process dramatically for our product launch in 2025. With our route-optimized charging services, we are providing real-time traffic calculation based on driving style, preference, traffic, or available charging stations, and many more. We also use Amazon technology like Alexa for our intelligent personal assistant and Fire TV to create unique customer experience inside the vehicle. Our connected vehicle AI platform is built on AWS and forms the backbone of the largest connected vehicle fleet. Ready for some more eye-opening stats? Let's dive in. 20 years ago, BMW introduced its first connected vehicle, and we've come quite a long way since then. Now, the BMW Group has the largest connected fleet with more than 20 million vehicles globally. Over the last 3 years, we migrated the connected vehicle backend to AWS by utilizing the global presence of AWS in many regions. Worldwide, we are updating more than 6 million vehicles over the air on a regular basis. Those numbers are growing constantly. It requires to manage more than 12 billion requests per day with over 1,000 different microservices. Ultimately, we are processing more than 110 terabytes of data traffic per day with a remarkable reliability. Look at these numbers. I'm always impressed. However, with our new product architectures, this number will triple in the next 2 years. Let's change perspective and take a look at a couple of numbers in the development phase. More than 8,500 software developers worldwide create first-class code for our vehicle and infrastructure. The BMW 7 Series runs on over 500 million lines of code. Our worldwide DevOps teams execute more than 110 software builds every day by using more than 60,000 virtual CPUs. To keep up with our demand, we use AWS services to scale up and accelerate development whenever it is necessary. Let's take a deeper look at the development. Traditionally, BMW comes from a hardware-driven development. Every developer had to do the development work on a physical test track. Today, we are using innovative technology to streamline our infotainment development process. The new approach allows us to provide test functionalities remotely to our global developer teams. An example is using Amazon EC2 for virtual development and testing in order to improve cross-functional collaboration. Our next step is to extend this approach to build a fully virtual digital twin. Now let's talk about the product and some exciting feature we created for our mini customers. On the picture, you can see the mini interior. It's our way to emphasize brand-typical design. Take the impressive round OLED display in our new mini family as a perfect example. Speech is rapidly becoming the dominant modality for interacting with vehicles. We have a long history integrating Alexa voice assistant. However, this year we are raising the bar. We will use Alexa technology to bring our intelligent personal assistant to the next level. Now let's take a seat in the back of our 7 Series. One of our most exciting features is the BMW theater screen. It's the 30-inch screen with an 8K resolution. It is spectacularly integrated in the car. It gives you a real cinematic experience. With Fire TV, our customers can seamlessly enjoy their favorite series and movies. It's our strong collaboration with the AWS and Amazon that unlocks new possibilities, enable us to think about the car in a new dimension. So one last thing to give you a glimpse into the future. This is the BMW Neue Klasse. This will launch in 2025. BMW has been always on the forefront of automotive innovation. The Neue Klasse will be a quantum leap in customer experience. It will take the driving experience to a new level. As you can see, The Neue Klasse introduced a completely new interior. With the BMW Panoramic Vision, we developed a new head-up display to project information pillar to pillar for the perfect driver orientation and user experience. All of this emphasize, improve, BMW is mastering data, accelerating the development process, and delivering best-in-class experience to the customer anywhere and anytime. This is absolutely exciting, and all of this is happening right now. AWS and the BMW Group are working closely together to shape this future. Thank you all, goodbye, und auf Wiedersehen.
What an incredible data platform you've built, and I mean the incredible experience it's creating for your consumers, just amazing. Thank you, Stephan.
It
So
was a
great to
pleasure.
see you
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you. So as Stephan has just made so clear, success with AI, as well as with nearly every other business priority, relies on having a strong data strategy. And one question I hear from customers frequently is, how should I think about data in a generative AI world? Well, the answer is that for generative AI, your data is your differentiator. Now, we've talked about customization through Bedrock, Code Whisperer customizations, Amazon Q tailored for your business, and examples from Delta Airlines and Pfizer. All while adding context to your generative AI applications with your own data is absolutely critical to providing value. Now, in each of these examples, the data used to customize the application has to be up to date. It had to be complete and accurate. It had to be discoverable, and it had to be available when you needed it. So the first step in achieving all of this is to making sure your data is in the cloud. Now, generative AI is just one of many reasons that you want this. Having effective cloud-based data strategy is going to increase your insight, it's going to reduce your cost, and it's going to accelerate innovation. To understand this, just think about how many different issues there are to consider when trying to make the most of your data. Organizations have different types of data. It comes from different origins, and it comes at various scales and speeds. Different teams all across the organization are going to work with different data in many, many different types of ways. And then how you want to use this data is just as varied. You're storing it, you're powering your applications, you're analyzing it, you're generating predictions from it. There's no one tool or solution that can do it all unless you're willing to make sacrifices like performance, cost, or capabilities. But you don't want to make those sacrifices. So what you need is a comprehensive set of tools that accounts for the scale and the variety of this data and the many, many purposes for which you want to use it. You need to integrate it and combine all that data that's spread all over to create a better understanding of what's happening and predict what will happen. And of course, you need governance so that you can have the right balance of access and control every step of the way. You need it all. If you miss even one aspect, your ability to use that data is significantly hobbled. So in order to make sure that you can store, analyze, and process the data, you've got to have a comprehensive set of data services so you can get the price performance, you can get the speed, the flexibility, and the capabilities for your use case. And that's why we have built the most comprehensive set of cloud data services out there. To start, we have Amazon S3, and customers use S3 to make hundreds of thousands of data lakes where they can bring structured data together with unstructured data and make it all available for analytics and machine learning. We also offer 8 relational databases, including Amazon Aurora, the relational database service that's built from the ground up for the cloud and is still the fastest growing service in AWS history. We also have 8 purpose-built databases, non-relational databases, including Amazon DynamoDB, which is used by over 1 million customers for its serverless single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. And we also have the broadest and deepest set of analytics services. And this includes our data warehouse service, Amazon Redshift, which delivers up to 6 or even 7 times better price performance, depending on your workload, than other cloud data warehouses. And we've got Amazon EMR to easily run Spark and other big data workloads. And Amazon OpenSearch service with tens of thousands of active customers and hundreds of thousands of clusters under management, and that all processes trillions of requests per month. and many, many, many more analytic services. I won't go through them all. But you need this breadth and this depth of choice so that you can never have to compromise on cost, on performance, or on scale, and instead you can choose the right tool for the job. Now, we've already talked about AI and ML extensively, so I'm not going to dwell on that here, but you need to be able to choose the right tools to feed your AI and everything else that you're doing in your business. And the second thing that you need as you move to put data at the center of your business is to break down your data silos. Most people have data spread out all over the organization in databases, analytic tools, SaaS applications, spreadsheets, and more. And to get the most value from your data, you need to be able to use it all no matter where it lives. And to do this today, most people move data around or try to connect the various silos using a process called ETL, or extract, transform, and load. Yeah, I see some of you flinched when I said that, because you know, right? You know exactly how bad this process can be. It is terrible. First, developers have to design an ETL pipeline architecture. They have to decide where to extract the data from, and it's often coming from multiple sources. Then they have to write code to transform the data and remove duplicates. They have to filter out outliers, retrieve missing data, and identify corrupted data. After all that, you have to load your transformed data to its new destination, which once again means more code to write. Then if something changes, like a data engineer swapping out a data table or adding a new field, you have to go back again and update all of your code once more. It is monotonous, it is tedious, and it is just a whole lot of unfun work, which is why we introduced our vision of a zero ETL future. And in this future, you can wave goodbye to the boring, frustrating process of ETL. Your data is automatically connected from the source to the destination. It's that easy, and you get your data where you need it, when you need it. No more building and managing complex, brittle processes and pipelines. It's really exciting. But is it real? Well, as a down payment, last year we announced a fully managed zero ETL integration between Aurora MySQL and Redshift. Within seconds of data being written into Aurora, you can use Redshift to do near real-time analytics on petabytes of data. You can enable this integration with just a few clicks and zero ETL. It is incredibly easy. Now, this first zero ETL integration is already done, but we want to deliver so much more. And so I'm really excited today to be announcing 3 more zero ETL integrations with Redshift. Let's get them all done at once. Aurora, Postgres, RDS for MySQL, and DynamoDB. These zero ETL integrations in Amazon Redshift are all available in preview when? Today. So that makes, yeah, you don't like the muck, do you? So that's 4 of our most popular relational and non-relational databases, together with the data warehouse that gives you the best price performance without any of the ETL. Fantastic. But remember, we're not done with this vision. So of course, our next question was, well, where else could we be removing the pain of ETL? Now, many of you need to use search on your transactional data to enhance the experience of your application. So for example, if you have an e-commerce application and you want to provide personalized recommendations to your user, you'd use similarity search on transaction data that's going to be stored in your database. So to do this, currently you're designing, you're building, you're managing complex data pipeline architectures from your database to a search engine. And tens of thousands of you are building those pipelines to Amazon OpenSearch service for its powerful search capabilities. I bet you can tell where we're going with this. So today, I'm really pleased to unveil 1 more zero ETL integration, DynamoDB zero ETL integration with OpenSearch service, generally available today. And this new integration makes it so easy to search DynamoDB data with our OpenSearch service. And it's just the first of these database integrations to our OpenSearch service that's going to help you do more with data. So our new zero ETL integrations are bringing transactional data and analytics together faster and more easily. And customers are really excited about the idea of a zero ETL future, so you can be certain we're going to keep innovating here. Now, we've talked about all of the tools that you need and how you can have data where you need it without the painful ETL burden. Next, You want to empower people across the organization to use your data to its fullest. You want them wallowing in your data, experimenting, asking questions, sparking ideas. You want to give people access. But there's one problem. Your data is incredibly valuable, so you want to grant access only to the right employees at the right time. You need to keep it safe and secure, so you also need control. Access, control. These are opposites, right? No, you can have, in fact, you must have both. And the key to making sure that your data is safe, is governed, has access, is governance. Creating visibility into your data and controlling who can access your data and when they can access it. With robust governance, you're going to give people access to the data they need and only that data. And when you know what data you have, you know where it is, you have guardrails and tools in place to safely unlock it, that builds confidence. And then people within the organization develop trust in the data. You actually empower innovation and experimentation rather than stifling it. And so to help you with governance, we developed Amazon Data Zone. Data Zone is a data management service that helps you catalog, discover, share, and govern data across your organization. And we're getting great feedback from lots of different customers, including the financial services leader in Brazil, Itaú. And we're really pleased with the impact that Data Zone's having, and we're going to continue to innovate rapidly in this space. Today, Data Zone uses machine learning to automatically add metadata to your catalog. But in order to find the right data at the right time, customers still have to choose to add business context, like explaining the data's purpose or clarifying column descriptions. Now, this helps employees find the data that they need. It's really important because if you don't know the data exists, the question of access and control becomes moot. But adding all this data, metadata, is tedious. It's a manual process. Well, no longer. We're making your cataloging even smarter. And today, I'm really pleased to announce a new capability that automatically suggests business descriptions to add context for your data set in just a few clicks. Customers simply choose a data set, and Data Zone will use generative AI to create business descriptions for your data using our trained models, making it easier to understand. These descriptions can be reviewed and accepted, or even further clarified or edited for your exact preferences. Data Zone is also going to provide recommendations for how to use your data. This is a huge, huge time saver, and this capability is going to help employees to find the right data for even faster insights. We're going to continue to innovate to help you use data governance to set your data free. Whatever you want to do in your business, you need an end-to-end data strategy that provides capabilities across the entire span of your data needs. You need to easily connect data across silos. And you need your data to be governed, to be confident that the right data is used in the right ways by only the right people. We're making AWS the best place for all of your data needs across all of these different areas. And when you have all this, and when you're ready to make data your differentiator in AI and across your business, it's amazing. We've talked a lot about reinvention today. And here at AWS, the most important reinvention of all is yours. To support you in all the ways that you want to adapt and evolve, we continuously challenge ourselves. We try and think differently. We try and give you the capabilities that you've always wanted, and even some maybe that you've never imagined. Now, this isn't the work of a few months or even a year, but we're okay with that. We're okay with that because at Amazon, we make bold bets. So third-party selling on Amazon, Prime. Even AWS itself was a big bet. I mean, it took a lot of years and a lot of capital to build out the on-demand infrastructure services that simply became known as the cloud. This long-term focus is a good thing. Being willing to think differently and long-term is a good thing. It's the only predictable way to profoundly change what's possible for customers. Now, there's another big bet that Amazon's making. You might have heard of Project Kuiper. Yeah, Kuiper! Kuiper's building a constellation of thousands of low Earth orbit satellites. Why? Well, hundreds of millions of people on Earth lack fast or reliable or even any internet access. Project Kuiper is going to help close that digital divide by delivering fast, affordable broadband to a wide variety of customers operating places without reliable internet connections. In fact, just last month, the Kuiper team successfully launched its first 2 proto-satellites into orbit. It's just an incredible thing. I mean, they put satellites up there. They're working flawlessly. Everybody's really happy. Let's take a look. Maybe I should have stopped there, right? Wow. I mean, Kuiper is a global high-speed satellite network that's going to provide coverages in places that have never had coverage before. I mean, imagine the power of delivering in really hard-to-reach places, the ability to access the internet with the same speed, the same reliability that most of us take for granted every day. Now, the possibilities for consumers is for sure enormous, but so are the benefits to businesses and governments. And there are all sorts of use cases, like renewable energy providers that want to analyze it in real time, data from offshore wind farms, or first responders who need fast, reliable connections during natural disasters, or organizations that are looking for connectivity backup in case of an unplanned outage. Kuiper is going to help to make all of this possible. And AWS customers are already planning for the opportunities that this opens up to connect to their facilities, their sensors, their data, their networks. It's going to be amazing for so many customers. But some customers, of course, don't want their data running over the public internet. And as you know, security is always our #1 priority. So today, I'm really excited to announce that in addition to public internet connectivity, Kuiper is also going to provide enterprise-ready private connectivity services. And now you're going to be able to move data from virtually anywhere over private, secure connections. And as you use these connections with your data, you can use it inside of the AWS cloud too. And early adopters are going to be able to start testing in the second half of 2024. So we make big bets like these so that customers can do things that they couldn't imagine before. And you come on this journey with us because we're willing to take these kinds of audacious leaps. And the benefits have been enormous. The exciting challenge ahead of all of us this next year is to look closely at our work and to reimagine it, to reinvent it, to dream up experiences that were previously impossible and make them real. We are so excited to be your partner in this new world that we're building together. And I'm thrilled that we get to explore it all this week. This morning has been incredible. I want to thank all of my guests on stage today, and thank you to everybody watching. And of course, thank you to the whole AWS team for working so hard to make this happen. Now, the team does have one more little surprise up their collective sleeve. So I don't know if you remember at the very beginning I mentioned Loudon Guitars in Ireland. Well, we actually have a Loudon guitar here from our friends at Loudon. And we've invited a talented guitarist, a longtime AWS favorite, Zach Person, to play us out. So we have got a great conference here for you this week. Now let's get out there and reinvent. Thank you. Take it away, Zach.